Yo, it's your boy P. Kemp. I'm just here to tell you today that free speech is not free, huh? Not no more. Might have been back some in the day or something like that. It ain't free today. You know what I'm saying? As you know, Kyrie Irving has been suspended from the Brooklyn Nets for at least 5 games. Who knows how many more? Because he was doing some research on Yahweh and he looked up a documentary and he was liking what he was seeing so far and he tweeted it or posted it, whatever. As he shared it, more people looked into it and figured out that in the documentary, there were some quotes by, I'm going to say, Madoff Whitler for the purpose of the video, that was considered to be anti-Samsonite, as you know. Let's get this out the way. I want to say that I am not anti-Samsonite, as I say. I did not watch the documentary. I don't plan on watching the documentary, but I'm keeping up on what's going on. But now I want to say, if people are hurt by this, I do not wish them to be. But I also know you can't tell people how to feel about something that offends them. You know what I'm saying? So, because I don't want people to tell me my feelings ain't valid when I feel disrespected or something like that. But with that said, it seems to be whenever we attempt to have these type of conversations, everybody surrounding this group gets very touchy. But it never seems to be this touchy when it comes to the feelings of black folk. Now, I'm not saying you should go around quoting Madoff Whitler, but what I am saying is we have monuments and statues and books that we teach our children in school that are full of quotes from some of the most murderous white men in history. You know what I'm saying? And we teach these beliefs every day. I'm pretty sure more than a few people have retweeted that lie of a documentary that Candace Owens put up there about George Floyd, but no one seems to be outraged about that. They want to spread the rumor that he died from fentanyl rather than a man's knee on his neck. But the president's money, they own money. They used to own slaves and all type. Like, I mean, Christopher Columbus. It's a holiday to one of the most murderous men in history. And you have no regard for how the Native American people feel about this. But when it comes to things like this, if you should so just breathe on this group of people that we're discussing, everything is, you know. And the funny fact is the most pushback black folk get is when we want to take down these statues. We want to tell you to take down your Confederate flag. When we tell you this gentleman was one of the most racist, murderous white men in history. Can we move this statue from in front of the courthouse? We get pushback from all type of white folk. What do you mean? This is American history. That was a quick sidebar, but back to the NBA. They were putting a lot of pressure on Kyrie to apologize for this. And Kyrie is like a free thinker. He takes stands on certain things. And he's like, I mean, I didn't make the documentary. I just posted it. I was looking up this and this, that, and the other. I'm a free thinker. I don't have no hate against nobody, this, that, and the other. And I just posted what I said. And so they were constantly pressuring him. And after thinking about it, he posted an Instagram post. I'm not going to read the whole post. I'm going to just post it up here so you can read some of what he said. But he posted an Instagram post and apologized to anybody and everybody that was offended. And still, they kept asking him afterwards. They kept egging it on, like trying to ask him, like, do you really apologize? Can we hear it out your mouth? Type stuff. And it was just like you could tell it was starting to go left. And shortly after, the Brooklyn Nets suspended him. And all I'm saying is this: when you don't own something, you got to watch what you say. And that's the world we live in today. Black folk don't own it. But one thing I want to say that Kyrie said is that there's a lot of things that are pushed in documentaries, in regular life, in songs, in, movies about black folk that is very anti-black, that is very hateful. You know what I'm saying? That's very divisive. That is pushing us to do harm to each other as black folk, and none of it's considered hate speech. And yet these things are allowed to be freely posted as entertainment and good music and everything. Because once again, I want to say, when you don't own nothing, You can't really control the narrative. I'm gonna play this post of this this executive that used to be in the music business. And sometimes it takes hearing it from somebody other, you know what I'm saying? Somebody not of my skin color to get the message across to certain people. But
being that a rapper from Migos died, I just wanted to go ahead and make a video about something I have a unique experience in. So I directed a bunch of rappers, people like Gucci Mane, Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, the list goes on and on and on, okay? I learned a lot of things, and I have left the industry largely over my political beliefs, but there is something I want to impart to people to hopefully, make some sort of change happen. So I have a challenge to rappers. And the truth is this, a bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. Period. The industry is obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own people, but they're encouraging you to push it on yours, and they're paying you handsomely to do it.
And if you haven't seen it, I advise you check out my video about Takeoff's death and some words Lakeith Stanfield had to say, like, can you be pro-black and keep pushing this gangster rap? Like, we as black people, we got to take responsibility at some point to stop participating in egging this on to our people.
The reality is, I know a lot of you. A lot of you are good people. You're family guys. You're not the image that you put out there to the world. Why? Why don't you be the example? Stand up. I challenge you. Be the example. Make music about the culture you want to see. Don't just get online today and talk about how, whenever a rapper makes it, his own people take him down. Don't just make those videos. Don't be sad. Don't rest in peace. None of that stuff. Be the change you want to see.
And from what he's saying, actions speak louder than words. We got to stop doing the fake little RIP and prayer hands and the little emojis and all of this, acting like we care. My condolences. If you need anything, that'd be the fakest thing people ever say when somebody died. If you need anything, let me know. Yeah, I do need something. Give me $15,000 to put on this funeral right now. That's what I need. But we got to start being the change we want to see. Put it in action.
Inspire it in your community. Reach out to other rappers and say, we have to stop. We're being used. You've been used for a long time. They create this paradigm to make you believe that you're so important and your celebrity status is worth so much, but in truth, you're a pawn in their game and you always have been.
Y'all remember Steven from Django? Samuel L. Jackson. It's the perfect example of how white folk will make you feel so important to get what they need out of you. Or even the wrestlers that, the fighters that they have fight. Use you up to your last drop till you ain't got no more in you. And they will sacrifice you like a lamb on the slaughter as soon as they don't need you no more. You know what I'm saying? Or trade you and sell you, whatever they want to do with you. You know what I'm saying?
The government has wanted to hold down communities of people in different ways through different methods for a very long time. Their method in the black community has been to use entertainment to create a culture obsessed with death, drugs, sex, and money.
So you can see we set up to lose. It's meant to be a circling, revolving door like that, because if you obsessed with these things, death, drugs, sex, and money, for one, it's going to feed the prison systems, which they get paid for you to be there. And they have you doing slave labor while you in there. So it's a constant cycle that's going on.
So that they could create a false paradigm of what happiness and what success really was. And in doing so, they created a world that also made people more dependent on government. And as a result, gave themselves more power. The record executives that push you to do this, to go and continue to profit off the backs of your work, they're in cahoots with the elite. They're in cahoots with the government. They want you to think you're important, but in truth, you're just doing their dirty work for them. So stop.
Explains how the government and these companies are in cahoots. We got an election coming up right now. Who do you think pays these politicians to go across the country speaking to these people and that people? And they get millions of dollars from corporations, whoever they may be, who have vested interests, who give money to these guys because what? They're going to need something in return at some point. So they're in bed together.
They've empowered you in ways that are real. You have an audience, you have platforms, you have the ability to make change. So go against the grain together. They're more afraid of you all together standing up and creating a new culture that's built around family, faith, freedom, doing the right thing. valuing life than they are of anything else.
Remind me of the movie Bug's Life, where the ants would gather up food and the grasshoppers would come take it, and then the ants finally realized, like, yo, we outnumber y'all vastly, and if we come together, the power we have would be phenomenal. And the grasshoppers were immensely scared of them realizing this power.
So I challenge you, use your power to do the right things. If you continue to do the same thing you've done, more rappers like this are going to die. How many have to die before you change the culture?
First of all, we got to snap out of the fact that it's not normal for us to be dying like this over stuff like this. Let's get that in our psyche first, because we'll see a death like that and just keep scrolling.
And let me tell you something else. There's a reason the record labels pay us more to do rap videos. They don't tell you that, do they? Do they tell you that they pay us more to do your videos? Because they do. They do it because they know it's more dangerous. They do it because they know it's more difficult. And they do it because, frankly, there's a lot of money laundering involved. Those labels wash a bunch of money through. We don't do it, but we know the labels are doing it 100%.
When you halfway realize you told on us, we don't do it, but I mean, I know some people who do be doing it sometimes. I mean, let's change the subject, because I don't want to get too deep in what we're talking about.
Okay, they're then taking the money off the top end, and you see on your royalty check, oh, they spent $150,000 on this video. Did they? Because we didn't see $150,000. Okay, so, and to who? Their friend's company? A lot of times that's the case. Same thing with insurance companies. They charge us more to insure your videos. And it's because they know the culture that's been created. They know that the only possibility of a music video being shot up is on a rap video. And that's the truth. So change the culture. You have the power. Your people deserve it.
Now we get to the meat and potatoes of what's going on. You know, it's a lot of the messed up contracts and this, that, and another. You know, they back charge you for a whole lot of stuff, and you don't be checking them numbers. You don't know what's going on in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? But they pilling and stealing. I'm going to tell you that right now. He just told you out his mouth, 100%. But furthermore, what he's saying, we do deserve change. But we got to recognize that we deserve better as we along on this journey. We got to stop taking the money to then keep shucking and jiving and doing our people wrong. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop taking the money to do our people, to set our people back and put us in worse situations than we were before. But until we realize that, I don't know what anybody else can do for us. You know what I'm saying? And furthermore, to go back to what we were talking about in the beginning, we have to realize free speech ain't free no more, you know? As much as I love talking on this YouTube and this, that, and other, when you on somebody's platform, you have to watch what you're saying. Otherwise, you will be punished some form of fashion for it. You know what I'm saying? You have to take responsibility for your words. Now, we can have real talk, and I'm sad that we in the day and age that we get into a place where we can't have real talk no more. You know, especially in the day and age of this flourishing podcast market that's going on. Like, we can't really have real conversations because everybody's so touchy about everything you say, you know, and that's sad, but it's the world we live in. So watch what you say, and I'm going to try to watch what I say do. I'm going to try, you know what I'm saying? This is your boy B Camp. Let me know what you think, what you don't think.